Here is a quick solution to the Jeopardy project that we did. So what we need to do is we need to have a reset button. Now remember, the reset button was going to be wired normally closed, but programmed normally open. So because the reset button is wired normally closed, that is going to make this true because it's going to put a 1 into the data table. And so what we have is we have player 1. And when they hit their button, they turn on light 1, and we will use the light to create memory. This is the beauty of a PLC, that this is fictional right here. We don't need a control relay. And then we had a next person. Another great thing about the PLC is we can use the push button over and over again, or the contacts over and over again. And so we have player 2. And they're turning on light 2. And we're going to use memory, light 2. And it's all fictional. And finally, a third player, reset. And player 3. And light 3. And then light 3 is the holding. So now what we have is the interlocks. So when player 1 gets their memory, their light's going to come on, it's going to stay on. And they need to lock out these people here. And I'm going to use light 1 because it gets latched on. Some people initially put the player 1 button here and the player 1 button here. Well, the problem with that is that would only work if that player 1 button was held down. So it can't be a push button interlock. It needs to be an interlock related to this fictional latch right here. So I'll use L1 and L1. And so L2, goes in here to lock this person out, and then light 3 creates the interlocks here. So that was the solution to the Jeopardy game. Now for the wiring, we take a look at the wiring of the module. What we have here is a sourcing and syncing modules. They were AC, so we had 120 volts AC, and we sunk the input module, and we sourced the output module. And so we had buttons. One was a normally closed push button, which was reset. And then we had a normally open, which was player 1. And then another normally open, which was player 2. And then another normally open, which was player 3. And then these items here go back to need a current loop, black. And then on the output, we had just our light 1, our light 2, and our light 3. And they get common, and because this is black, these go back to white. Now remember, sometimes people try and get the ladder logic here, sorry, and they start taking push buttons and lights and all this, and they start trying to make series and parallel connections over here on the wiring. There's no logic that gets wired into the modules. The logic occurs in the ladder, in the program, and this is all fictional. This is the interaction between all the switches and the outputs, the contacts and the coils, and everything just needs to get wired in here, and then we can do whatever we want with these push buttons once we have the address and the signals.